With each passing day, the conflict in the Middle East seems to escalate further. Just when you think that the worst has already happened, a new battlefield opens up. And with the recent devastating airstrikes, escalation seems imminent. Join us at the global game as we dive deep on whether Iran and Israel are spiraling towards a full scale war. Iran and Israel have long standing adversaries, with for many years Iran openly calling for the destruction of Israel. The two have been engaged in a proxy war for quite some time, but it entered a new phase with the October 7th attack by Hamas on Israel. Since then, the IDF has been at war, not just with Hamas, but with other hostile groups such as Hezbollah and the Houthis as well. All these groups have a few things in common. They are backed by Iran, supplied by Iran, and all share an aversion towards Israel. They are widely regarded as the axis of resistance, an organization of which Iran is the main backer, and it contains groups whose ideology is simple. They are working against Israel as well as the collective West. But this proxy war has already had some major escalations in the past, which didn't lead to a full scale conflict. But this time, the latest ones could very well tip the scale and turn it into an all out war. In the beginning of the conflict, both sides expressed interest in avoiding a full scale conflict, but they both also emphasized that they would meet their strategic objectives. Since then, the IDF has been plummeting Gaza, where the loss of civilians is so horrific that they are being heavily criticized across the world. With limited resources in Gaza, the axis of resistance is focusing on other ways to exert pressure. For example, the Houthis have been widely used to target shipping in the Red Sea to stop container traffic and cargo traffic from flowing through the Suez Canal and damaging the global economy. And while they have succeeded in reducing the number of ships that have transited the Red Sea into the Suez, in return, they have been hit with massive aerial bombardments from the US and other NATO allies. And their actions have also resulted in navies of other major powers, such as India and China, to take up nearby positions and protect their ships against Houthi actions. Let's just say both sides are suffering on this front. But with such escalations in other theaters by Iran, Israel has not been far behind. Israel has gone beyond Gaza and has hit major targets in Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Iraq. The biggest escalation so far has definitely been an IDF airstrike which hit the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria. The airstrike led to the deaths of not only consulate officials, but those of three senior Quds forces commanders, including their senior most leadership in Syria. An airstrike on a diplomatic institution in a third country is almost unheard of and is widely considered an act of war, not an action in a proxy war. Since this action, Iranian officials have been very vocal in stating that a retaliation is coming, and US intelligence sources have confirmed that it is imminent. The threat is so real that all Israeli embassies in the world are closed and are bracing for an attack. Whatever the retaliation may be, it's safe to say it could well be the first of many to come. But this is not the only strike with the ability to widen the war. There have been many more in the recent past, and hence they all suggest the same thing, that wider war is coming. If we look at it, in the last week, Israel carried out another strike deep inside Syrian territory in Aleppo, which was among the biggest strikes ever hit in the region. And it caused more than 70 casualties, not just taking out Hezbollah fighters, but also Assad aligned Syrian army forces. The attack was even supplemented by the Israeli defense minister going out and saying that Israel is turning from defending to pursuing Hezbollah, and we will reach wherever the organization operates. Such a stance gives a clear signal that the operating policy in Israel has shifted towards a wider conflict, and we will have to wait and see how Iran reacts on increasing scope of the battle. Between this strike and the consulate strike, it's safe to say that if the trend continues and Iran retaliates strongly, full scale war won't be a question of if, but when. In the part 2 of this video, we will look at how the IDF's recent actions are affecting their relationship with their allies, especially the United States, and in turn, how these changes will affect whether Israel and Iran go to a full scale war or not. Subscribe to the Global Game for part 2 of this video and for more insightful geopolitical content. Thank you.